Alright, here's the Bible. Here's all the verses that I found on homosexuality. Alright? These are some of the most common ones. You've probably heard them all already. But here we go. Alright, Leviticus 18:22. You shall not lie with a male as one lies with a female. It's an abomination. Leviticus 20:13. If there's a man who lies with a male, as those who lie with a female, a woman, both of them have committed a detestable act. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood is guiltless upon them. Romans chapter 1, 26 and 27. For this reason, God gave them over to degrading passions. For their women exchanged the natural function for that which is unnatural, and in the same way, also the men abandoned the natural function of the woman and burned in the desire towards one another. Men with men committing indecent acts and receiving in their own persons the due penalty of their error. Now, how can you change that to where the Bible is saying that homosexuality is not wrong? That's really forward right there. 1 Corinthians 6:9. This is what the Gay Christian Network was talking about. Do not be deceived. Neither the sexually immoral, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor male prostitutes, nor homosexual offenders, nor thieves, nor the greedy, nor drunkards, nor slanderers, nor swindlers will inherit the kingdom of God. Alright, now what the guy did on the Gay Christian Network was he took the word homosexual offender and he made it, well, it's not that homosexuality is wrong, it's that they're using homosexuality in an offensive way, like men having sex with little boys or something. Some other versions of the Bible don't say offenders, it just says homosexual. And I'm going to tell you why. It's because the offense is homosexuality. Just like in Romans 1, 26 and 27, how it's talking about the men changing the natural function of being with a woman to being with a man instead. Well, what this is trying to say is homosexuality is an offense. If it was that homosexual people who have sex with boys is the offense, then I want to ask you, is heterosexuals having sex with little girls an offense too? Because it is, right? But you don't see that here. You don't see heterosexual offenders. You see the other verses behind it, but the one with adulterers, sexual and immoral, things like that. But in relation to this, 1 Timothy 1, this is 8 through 11. But we know that the law is good, for if one uses it lawfully, recognizing the fact that the law is not made for the righteous person, but for those who are lawless and rebellious, for the ungodly and sinners, for the unholy and profane, and for those who kill their fathers or mothers, or murderers and immoral men, and homosexuals, and kidnappers, and liars, and perjurers, and whatever else is contrary to the sound teaching, according to the glorious gospel of the blessed God, which I have been entrusted. Okay, now here's the last part. The last part's about Sodom and Gomorrah. All right. Now I've also seen people try to turn this around too. Let me ask you a question. There's a lot of gay people in Sodom and Gomorrah. Yeah. Now, do you believe that everybody in those entire population, that big place, the big city, was born gay? Do you think that everybody there was born gay? You can check out Genesis 18 for the story. I want to show you all the other places in the Bible where it talks about sodomites and sodomy. Okay, now people who are sodomites, everybody knows that they are homosexuals. Okay, so let's look at the verses for sodomy. All right, it's 1 Kings 14, 24. And there were also sodomites in the land, and they did according to all the abominations of the nations which the Lord cast out before the children of Israel. 1 Kings 15:12. And he took away the sodomites out of the land, and removed the idols that his father had made. 1 Kings 22:46. And the remnant of the sodomites, which remained in the days of his father Asa, he took out of the land. 2 Kings 23, verse 7. And he broke down the houses of the Sodomites that were by the house of the Lord, where the women wove hangings for the grove. Now, I've heard people try to say that Sodomites, and the sin of sodomy was being unwelcoming. But when you look at these verses, you can tell it's not like the king is so upset with these unwelcoming people that he's got to cast them out of his country. You just got to know it's homosexuals. That's what they're trying to say. And a lot of these sodomites in these verses, they would be kind of like prostitutes for idols. So, for example, let's say somebody is going to worship an idol. What they would do is they would go and have sex with whoever, one of the prostitutes, and then that was an act of worship to the idol.